Well, good morning. It is about 4:20 a.m. and we are getting ready to head out. We'll be touching base at our first fuel stop, which is just a few minutes, so we can make a screenshot of our receipt and start time. Boom, here we are getting started. You know, I gotta say, I think ultimately, I mean, it's 4:30 in the morning, so, let's just put it like this. When you're not a morning person, and I am not, 4:30 in the morning is early. So I was feeling like I should have been a little more excited. Maybe lackadaisical is a good term, maybe lethargic, I don't know for sure. Now, once I got on the bike, cranked it up, and I'm headed to the gas station, which you can see here where we met. Then they scrolled in, Phillip and Jeremy. I was beginning to feel a little bit better. But yeah, I don't know. I got up at 4:30. Actually, I got up about 4, left the house about 4:30. And I don't know, it was a little meh. So here we are on I-22, I believe, or maybe 65. No, I think this is 22. Our first leg of the trip was going to be about 280 miles from Birmingham to Memphis, Tennessee. We were trying to kind of get through down I-22 and into Memphis maybe prior to, or at least our original plan was to get there prior to rush hour traffic. But once we decided, because of Easter Sunday, we weren't going to leave until 5 a.m. because we wanted to leave at 2 a.m. earlier. It wound up that we got into Memphis what appeared to be after rush hour traffic. But as the skies began to break into daylight, definitely feeling much better. And it was cool. I got to say, we were prepared, but it still was a little cool. We were only going to be gone for less than 24 hours, but we packed as if we were going to be gone for a week. Not necessarily clothes, but just bike supplies, jackets, a couple of helmets, just, different things, just making sure we were going to be, have everything we needed for the trip. I try to make sure when I'm riding on long trips or journeys, whatever you want to call them, that I have a little fun. It's not necessarily something that I want to put the cruise control in on, 70 miles an hour and just hear the hum of the bike for 500 miles. So the guys and I, we swapped up leading positions, going a little faster, going a little slower. Just some different things. And then, of course, when there was no traffic on the road, riding side by side was pretty cool. I decided to take my 2019 CBO Road Glide. I was originally going to take the 21 Limited, but I decided to go with the Road Glide. I felt like that for this first challenge, I needed to be on the Road Glide. And don't ask me why, because I really don't know, other than that was just my personal preference. The highway, for the most part, going from Birmingham to Memphis has to be similar to the highway going from Dallas, Texas to El Paso. It is wrist-slitting boring. But the traffic wasn't bad. We had, as you can see, we passed some semis and we had some cars, in and out around us, but nothing really major. And, we just clicked along. This is Phillip on his 2011 Ultra Limited. He rode that the whole time, and it performed well for him. That's Jeremy up in front on the right in front of me. He's riding his 2017 Road Glide Special, Mystic Purple. We're scrolling along here doing pretty good, making good time so far. So I had my full-size helmet on this trip, and I brought my half helmet, but I also wore this one to start with because it was a little cool, and we weren't sure about the weather, even though it wasn't supposed to rain. I think we wound up with some sprinkles at some point during the course of the trip, but nothing of any magnitude. But I did not bring my clear face mask, so I am riding with a blue sun visor, and as far as I was concerned, it was still dark for me because I had it down and had a hard time seeing because the sun was not necessarily out all the way. So, but anyway, it was part of it. I got to say too, I was just watching that part there where my come across that bridge and the whole bike was moving. The bridges in America need some serious work. They are absolutely insane. But it is what it is. Pulling in here for our first gas stop after leaving Morris, Alabama, about 5:10 a.m. And Phillip had a little clutch adjustment that was needed, so we took care of that for him. I did have a little tool bag that I always take with me on trips, and so we made some adjustments to his clutch, and it seemed to be working, and it didn't bother him anymore the rest of the trip. So back on the road, heading on into Memphis now, and the roads getting on into Mississippi, and we're not the best. But Mississippi and Louisiana's roads have never been the greatest of all the states I've traveled in all the years of traveling I've done in car, motorcycle, whatever it might be. Those roads are by far the worst anywhere I've been, and I've been all the way from California to South Dakota to the Carolinas to Florida. It's just, they're horrible. So here we are getting into Memphis, and of course, the traffic's a little heavy, and got a lot of stuff going on, and it's always I don't get nervous per se, but I'm always a little on edge, just kind of making sure that I'm doing my part in heavy traffic, and that other people are doing their part, because if they can't watch themselves, then I have to. I looked back over the trip, and it kind of happened so fast with planning it and getting it together. I really didn't want to have time to contemplate. Once I made my mind up that I wanted to do it, I put it out on Facebook for our locals in our area and had, I don't know, 4 or 5 guys say, hey, I want to do it, I want to do it. And so at one time we had 5 guys planned, 2 had to back out, and we were left with 3. But I never really had time to, I guess, go over, maybe the concerns or whatever might have been, I guess, maybe normal thought processes in taking a trip when you know it in advance, or at least way in advance. All I could really think about was, accomplishing this safe, and that I wasn't going to be gone that long from work or life, and I could just be gone for less than 24 hours and knock it out and be done with it. So, I didn't spend an awful lot of time thinking about, well, am I going to get sore? Is my seat going to be sufficient? Those of you that don't know me and maybe be watching my stuff for the first time, this 2019 Road Glide that I have, I put a Corbin seat on it. Corbin seats, when you first get them, are, they're a little hard. They're not a plush gel seat. So I was a little concerned. I've got some friends that have them, and they swear by them. So this is my first one. I now just installed my second one on another bike. And I got to say, man, they're fabulous. I rode 1,070 miles in 19 hours. And never once did my butt say, please remove me from this seat so I can sit somewhere comfortable. We got off in about every 150 miles, got gas, walked around. We only stopped, I think, 2 times that did not include gas stops. And one was in New Orleans to eat, and the other was a rest stop where Jeremy and Taco Bell needed to make a visit. Other than that, man, I tell you, it was comfortable. It was fun. I wish the sun had been out from a beauty perspective. It would have been much more prettier. But we had just a little drizzle. So, matter of fact, I want to say it was probably right in here somewhere. But other than that, it was just cloudy, and it wasn't hot. So that was the great thing about it. So we pulled in here to the Pilot to get some gas, and there was a Taco Bell in there, and I guess by default we were kind of hungry, and we all went in there to eat. I must say, eating Taco Bell on a bike ride where we're being timed was probably not a smart idea. I just thanked the good Lord several times that day that it did not catch up with me and cause any issues, if you know what I mean. I got to say, one of the great things about riding a motorcycle is being able to ride the roads of America. You know, I talked about earlier that the roads in Mississippi and Louisiana are just not that good, and they're not. But our infrastructure in this country is really just is in poor shape anyway. Our taxes go into people's pockets instead of doing what they're supposed to do. But I'll try not to get too political about that. But just being able to ride, these roads and see America is, I don't know, between the motorcycle itself and the freedom of being able to be in the open air like that and seeing the beauty of this country and God's creation and handiwork is just, it's fabulous. Makes it worth it all. All right, so like I said earlier, we're clicking along here, doing pretty good. Our route took us from Birmingham through Tupelo, Mississippi, on into Memphis, and then down, I want to say about an hour and a half to Grenada, Mississippi. We passed through there. Okay, so this is the third time I'm mentioning it, but I'm going to do it because you just saw that road, the bridge. My God, the roads were horrible. I can't help it. They were horrible. Anyway, four wheels is one thing with the great suspension, and motorcycles, they do the best they can with suspension, but no matter what the best one you've got. When you with two wheels and you hit some of those ruts and potholes and oh my God, it's awful. Anyway, so Grenada, Mississippi, and then from Grenada we just passed through the outskirts of Winona. Really just not a lot else after that until we got on down into Louisiana, which we're going to be doing here in just a few. There's really nothing like when you are riding with your brothers on the open road, side by side on a 2-lane or the interstate. These are some of the times that I cherish and really enjoy. Even though Homer looking over at me being silly, because he and I, we ride a lot alike. It's crazy. Making signs at one another and stuff, but so we're coming through Mississippi here, just clicking right along, and we're probably about a third of the way into the trip, and I don't guess there was ever a point where I looked in my rearview mirrors and thought this was a stupid idea. I only gained confidence the more miles we laid down. I just believe in that we were going to be able to knock it out, prayerfully without issue, and be able to make it home and be able to chalk it up as a challenge that we took on and conquered. I don't know what the record is for being able to do 1,000 miles in less than 24 hours. I really don't care, to be honest with you, because the goal is to do 1,000 miles in less than 24 hours. So whether it's 23 hours and 59 minutes or some speed demon record, you don't get a bigger certificate or have any more of a sense of accomplishment. So just being able to get it done, was our goal, and we just took it 1 mile at a time, and embraced the opportunity and had fun. So once we got on into southern Mississippi and into Louisiana, we obviously started seeing water and Lake Maurepas, I think is what they call Maurepas. I don't speak New Orleanese, so but lots of backwaters and stuff in that area, and of course we're leading up, going through Ponchatoula and leading on up to Lake Pontchartrain, so that's and that's I guess this was really luck, because when we mapped out the way, we didn't really take into consideration the landscape. We were looking at miles. We needed to put down miles. That was our plan. That's what we needed. So that's what was our goal. But it just so happened that we really did a good job in planning it, because we got to see good scenery, countryside, we got to see some city, we got to see Cajun, we got to see water, and just fabulous, as it shows here in the video. So it was great. I enjoyed it. You'll notice some of the video footage here towards, I guess from here going forward, is going to be mostly looking backwards. Like right now, you can see I have bug guts on my on my 360 camera, so I'm having, if I go forward, I have to look down, and if I go back, then I can look up, just to avoid there being some grossness in the camera. or in the video. So, but anyway, chilling along here, looking back, and that's fine because I led most of the way down through here, so the guys are in the background, get to see themselves, and of course the scenery's pretty as well. So we enjoyed coming through this part of the country. So we got off of I-10 on, I think it was St. Louis Street, or Tollhouse Street, Toolhouse Street. No, it was St. Louis Street, I believe. Anyway, basically, we merged just a little bit, which led us right into the area that we wanted to be at, which was Jackson Square, because there is a place there that has some great food, and I was looking forward to eating there. So we had to kind of trudge down through the streets and the buildings, etc., to get to our location, and eventually be able to park, and which you're about to see here in a few minutes. It was pretty crowded. I was kind of surprised for a non-holiday Monday. Granted, there's spring breakers everywhere, but there was quite a few people around, just walking, and I guess visiting the sites. Obviously, like Memphis, New Orleans is a night celebration, nightlife town. So, you know, they've always been busier at night than they are in the daytime anyway. So. So part of the problem when you drive or ride, in this case, to downtown New Orleans is trying to find a place to park. There were some places that we could park that were, you know, paid and things of that nature, but we were trying to find maybe some places we could squeeze 3 motorcycles in on the street, and we eventually did. We wound up putting all 3 of them under a building that was actually under construction. So yeah, probably not the smartest. Right here I'm telling Jeremy behind me that there's a crotch rocket that's pulled up on the sidewalk there and parked. We're about to pull off and you'll be able to see it. And I told him, why don't we just pull up there and park too? But that probably would have took up more space than just a little crotch rocket. You can see it right there. But we wound up finding a nice place, and we backed them in and took some pictures, and was able to walk down to the corner oyster house and have some food. So when you've got air rad on your bike, you have to make sure when you lower it after you've backed into a parking lot with curbs that you do not lower the tips onto the curb. That does not sound good, and yes, I know that from experience, and it still makes me shiver.
All right, this is the Corner Oyster House. Fantastic place. 2012 January, my sister and I and some others sat there and watched the Alabama championship game with LSU, and had a blast. So that place will always hold special memory. Folks, this is some of the best red beans and rice with spicy sausage that you'll ever have. It was fantastic. It always has been every time I've been back. As you can see across from me, Jeremy had oysters. Actually, they both did. One was cooked and one was raw. I don't really do oysters at all, but then of course I had to have the bread pudding once I found out they had one, and beyond a shadow of a doubt, I ate every bit of that. I may have even licked the plate, not sure. Haha. And the haha was not like I'm exaggerating, like I think I may have licked the plate. All right, so we're back on the bikes. We had a great dinner. We timed it pretty good to where we arrived in New Orleans right at dinner time. So I want to say it was around 5 o'clock, 5:30 p.m. This would have been Monday, April 1st. And this was our by far our longest stint to stay anywhere. We needed rest. We were about 2/3 of the way through the trip. I think our mileage and odometer said 656 miles when we pulled up there at the building under construction to stop, and we stayed probably about an hour and 15. We might have pulled out an hour and a half. We just needed the time off the seats for a little bit. Now we're back on. We have about a 2.5 hour leg to Mobile, Alabama, and then from there about a 4.5 hour ride home. So we're on the other side. Here we go. Let's get her done.
Searching all of my days, all of my days. Many a road, you know, I've been walking on all of my days. And I've been trying to find what's been in my mind as the days keep turning into night. Well, I have been quietly standing in the shade all of my days. the sky breaking on the promise that we made. All of this rain, and I've been trying to find what's been in my mind as the days keep turning into night. Many a night I found myself with no friends standing near. All of my days I cried aloud, I shook my hands at what I'm doing here. All of these days, for I look around me and my eyes confound me, and it's just too bright as the days keep turning into night. Now I see clearly it's you I'm looking for. All of my days, so I smile, I know I'll feel this loneliness no more. All of my days, for I look around me and it seems you found me, and it's coming into sight as the days keep turning into night, as the days keep turning into night. And even breathing feels alright. Yes, even breathing feels alright. Now even breathing feels alright. Yes, even breathing feels alright.
So this is going to be a funny one. Jeremy comes back from the bathroom and he's got to pee like a Russian racehorse. And at first I thought he was about to piss on the gas pump because he had his pants undone. But it turns out, I guess he was tucking his shirt in, but oh my God, he was livid. The Indians owned the station, which they owned most all the ones we stopped at. and they claimed the bathrooms were broken, but they did not convince Jeremy that they were broken. So he was very annoyed. He said, "I'm not buying gas here." So like legit, he ran off and up the road to buy gas while we waited on him. So I still laugh about it. It was funny. Going over Lake Pontchartrain at this time of the day was absolutely beautiful. I don't know that I've never been over the bridge going to Key West. That will be one of my next trips, probably doing the Bun Burner 1500. But I'm gonna tell you, going over this bridge this time of the day and looking at the water and the cloudy sky and everything was just, I don't know, it was just fantastic. I really and thoroughly enjoyed it. And so I kind of really soaked in and cherished this particular time of the day and part of the trip.
There's a big difference in riding at night versus day. And I don't mean the obvious, one the sun shines and one it doesn't. I mean, like, I don't know, there's something about riding at night that I really and thoroughly enjoy. You know, it's calming, relaxing. I enjoy riding anytime, don't get me wrong. The daytime is fun, the sun's shining, it's beautiful. You know, but it's almost like when the sun goes down and the dark covers and all you've got is your motorcycle light. It's like you backed into a corner of a room somewhere and nobody else sees you. They don't know you're there. And you can just kind of enjoy it all alone, even if you're riding with a group. So when the sun set here and it became dark, we were in the neighborhood of South Alabama. Knew we still had several hours to go, or a few hours to go. Well, we have officially arrived back in Gardendale, Alabama. It has been about 19 hours and 30 minutes, 1,073 miles. It has been a good trip. So we had a little drama here at the end. I'll kind of walk you through this. So we get off at the Fieldstown Road exit here in Gardendale, Alabama. And of course, we're excited to be home. We've got to fill up with fuel. We had to stop a few miles from home because our gas station in our town at 2 a.m. or 1:30 a.m. is not open. So we pull in, lights are up. We figured, hey, we'll do this right here, get our gas, take our pictures, part our ways. My brother-in-law, Jeremy, and Phillip, they live in Coleman, which is about 30 miles north, so they had a little bit more of a ride. And I'm about 10 miles north of here. I'm getting off the bike, and of course, you know, I look at the pump, and I'm noticing it's not on. So I look around the corner there and yell at one of the guys. They've already gone inside to see what's going on. Well, we're told that the pumps, yeah, they should be working, no big deal. I'm looking around, yeah, there's no pumps on. You know, you may want to check. Looking over there, no pumps on over there. So we get our gear on. And I don't know, at this point in time, we're a little delirious, I guess. I had forgotten that I had done this until I went back and watched the video, and I have no clue of what I was saying other than, you know, I'm running out of time here. I need to get into bed, and I'm tired, and I need gas. But anyway, so we jumped back on the bikes after we decide that we have to find fuel somewhere in Gardendale. Otherwise, this whole trip was for naught and in vain. And that wasn't going to happen. We would have went around Birmingham somewhere and find fuel. Anyway, so we hop back on the bikes, and we proceed to head to a Shell station down the road that we thought was open and had fuel. So we would hopefully be able to fill up there. So going to lay a little groundwork here. We
pay and we fill up with gas. It's again 1:45 a.m. and we've been on the road for 20 hours, a little less than. And so I put my card in and we fill up. Really with the greatest of anticipation of being able to take our receipt picture and being able to get our odometer mileage in that picture and, clicking along, call it the final, the final stage of our trip and challenge. So I am trying my best not to drip fuel. Do you have a problem with that? I hate that. I drip fuel on the tank and I can't stand it, but I try hard not to. Anyway, so I'm sitting, do you want a receipt? Oh, yeah, I would like to have a receipt, sir. Okay, print receipt. I'm waiting. I am waiting. Hello, Mr. Pumpman. I need a receipt. This thing is for naught. I cannot get hello up in there. Where is my receipt? No, you've got to be kidding. This happened 2 times on the trip. I'd forget to press the button and I'd have to go in and get a receipt. No problem. I'll go in and get a receipt. While I'm walking up, the other 2 yell and go, yeah, ours don't have paper in them either. Turns out none of the pumps have got paper in them. So I may have thought some bad words. I'm not for sure. Again, 1:45 a.m. Try to open the door. This drama unfolds for about 10, 15 minutes. They're all pumping away thinking they're going to get to take a picture too, but it didn't happen. There's a sign on the door that says closed for restocking. If you need anything, there's a number there that says call. So, you know what? I pull up there in a few minutes, you'll see, and I made a phone call. It rang, and it rang, and it rang, and nobody answered. So I just decided I'd pull my bike up there and see if I couldn't figure out what was going on. In the meantime, Phillip walked up there and proceeds to bang on the door. As you can see, we've given it a little knock. Mr. Huff and puff and blow the house down, so to speak. Yep, it says it's closed. Said if you want a pizza, I need to call this number. Well, apparently that was earlier in the night because they don't sell pizzas at 1:30 in the morning. So I walk over and I'm like, you've got to be kidding me. No pumps working at the other location. Pumps are working here, but no paper to print out. And so we bang on the door a little more, and Mr. Indian comes to the door. Now, I know some of you are going to be like, well, you sure are mighty racist or stereotypical or whatever you want to call it. I don't know what to think about this. They own all the gas stations in America. How did that happen? How did we stand by and let that happen? Anyway, so this guy comes to the door. Hey, that's great. He comes to the door. Well, in a minute he does. And we're thinking all we got to do is just get a body to the door. Oh, there he is. Hey, Mr. Indian man, you'll get us a receipt. We need receipt. No, we closed. No receipt. What? Hey? No, everything back there locked up, closed. We're restocking. We're back here making bombs. Sorry, I'll delete that if I can. Anyway, so no receipt. So here we are. We have filled up with gas, and now we are trying to find another gas station so we can put 2 cents worth of fuel in the bike to get a receipt to take with our odometer picture. Stand by.
I got rice cooking in the microwave. Got a 3-day beard I don't plan to shave. And it's a goofy thing, but I just gotta say, hey, I'm a-doing alright. Yeah, I think I'll make me some homemade soup. I'm feeling pretty good, and that's the truth. It's neither drink nor drug induced. No, I'm just doing alright. And it's a great day to be alive. I know the sun's still shining when I close my eyes. There's some hard times in the neighborhood, but why can't every day be just this good? Oh yeah. It's been left home and said good luck to every seed I'd sown. Gave it my best and then I left it alone. I hope they're doing alright. Now I look in the mirror and what do I see? A lone wolf there staring back at me. Long in the tooth but harmless as can be. Lord, I guess he's doing alright. And it's a great day to be alive. I know the sun's still shining when I close my eyes. There's some hard times in the neighborhood, but why can't every day be just this good? Sometimes it's lonely, sometimes it's only me and the shadows that fill this room. Sometimes I'm falling, desperately calling, howling at the moon. Tattoo, or take my old Harley for a 3-day cruise. Might even grow me a Fu Manchu. And it's a great day to be alive. I know the sun's still shining when I close my eyes. There's some hard times in the neighborhood, but why can't every day be just this good? It's a
All right, so we stumble across a Chevron station just about 2 miles from the Shell station, and we pull in there, and I mean, at this stage, this seems like this process is taking longer than the whole trip. But our third fuel station visit, and again, all we're looking for is a printed receipt. Never take those for granted. Every time I filled up my truck or bike since this trip, I see that message that says, do you want a receipt? And I want to hit it and say yes, even though I don't need one, just to force the print. But anyway, it's been crazy. So we finally get the 2 cents worth of gas. We all get printed out. We all get fuel and our pictures, and we are ready to part ways. Pulling away from the station there with them, they eventually fall in behind me, but kind of going down the road, reflecting on the last 19 and a half hours. I had originally set out on this trip to do by myself. I have no problem riding by myself and doing things like this. But I gotta say, if you can have some brothers go with you or sisters, it definitely makes things a little better. And I am grateful that they chose to make this run with me. It was fun having them along. We had a lot of laughs. We definitely made some memories, and possibly even a wrong turn or two. We won't point fingers at and blame that on anybody but the guy you're seeing in the screen right now. That's me. But like I said, I would have done it by myself. I've ridden by myself before. I don't really have a problem with that, and sometimes there's solace in that and enjoyment. But this particular trip would have been a little harder on me, I believe, without them at each stop being able to chat it up and discuss and talk and things of that nature. So it was definitely worth having someone there. So I would recommend, if you're planning to do one of these, grab somebody who's got the same interests as you when it comes to motorcycle riding, and take them along with you, and enjoy the camaraderie. I give them the 2 fingers down. They're about to turn left here and get on the interstate, and I am headed north for about 10 more miles alone.
All my friends know the low rider. The low rider is a little higher. Low rider drives a little slower.
As I'm winding down, I again have lots of time to think here, riding by myself in the dark. Asking myself, would I do something like this again? And, I got to say without hesitation that the answer to that is yes. I think when I set out on this with the Iron Butt Association to do the Saddle Sore 1000, I really don't think it was all about the certificate. I don't think it was about any kind of recognition. To be honest with you, I think it's more along the lines of I want to do something that I enjoy, and it brings me great joy to do this. So to be able to say that, to my friends or just for me, that I did 1,000 miles plus in less than 20 hours.
No gas now. The low rider don't drive too fast. Take a little trip, take a little trip and see. Take a little trip, take a little trip, take a little trip with me.
All right, I just turned into my neighborhood, and conclusion of 20 hours and of almost 1,100 miles. I have killed the engine because my golden doodle, when he hears the motorcycle coming, he gets really excited. So it's downhill all the way into my garage from the stop sign there where I entered the subdivision. So I killed the engine, coasted all the way down the street, blew the stop sign, coasted into the door, raised the door, and going to move the bike in. I really wasn't tired. My body was tired. My brain was, I don't know, really, motivated. It was a good day. It was a good 20 hours.
I would do it again in a heartbeat. There's a little rise, a lip on my garage floor here. So, yeah, not being able to drive it in, I had to figure out how to get it in. So, gonna kick it up off the kickstand and rock it and push it on in there, and just turn it in its parking space here. She did good. She rode. She let me ride her all that time and got me back home safely, and most definitely pleased with her performance. Since I've done the cam jobs and upgrades on the engine, it's definitely not the best fuel economy bike, but I don't care. I don't think that's the point. God bless. Thank you for watching. Hope you enjoyed. Hope you didn't get too bored. Until our next video, 2 lanes, 2 wheels. Southern 2 Lane out.